Number 9 says solve the following system with the elimination method. Guys, remember elimination method is where you are going to line the two equations up and then you want to add them to get a variable to cancel. Well, guys, if I line these up right now and say add, is a variable going to cancel? 9 plus negative 11 is negative 2x, and 2 plus 2 is a 4y. Nothing canceled, so I have to go back and I have to work on eliminating, not really eliminating, but on manipulating this equation. Remember, we talked in class about, how if you really want something, you know whether to talk to your mom or your dad, and sometimes you know what you need to do in order to get what you want. Well, if we look here, I've got two 2y's. Guys, a 2y plus a 2y isn't going to cancel. But if I can turn one of those into a negative 2y, then I'm rocking and rolling. So we're going to go through and multiply one of the equations by negative 1. It doesn't matter which equation. I'm going to pick the top one and multiply everything by a negative 1. So when I do that, it's going to create a new equation. Negative 1 times 9x is negative 9x. Negative 1 times 2y is negative 2y. And then keep distributing. Negative 1 times negative 17 is a positive 17. So what we just did by doing that is we created an equation that's going to graph the same exact line. It's equal to the other one. Now, bring your bottom equation over. Negative 11x plus 2y equals 3. Notice I didn't change anything in my bottom equation because right now if I add these, the negative 2y plus 2y, those are going to get me 0. So they're going to cancel. Now, what is negative 9 plus negative 11? This is where I would suggest type it in because some of you are prone to make some really careless mistakes. If you have negative 9 plus negative 11, or guys, you could type it in as negative 9 minus 11, you're going to get a negative 20. So that's going to get me negative 20x is equal to, well guys, what's 17 plus 3? Yeah, it's equal to 20. So when I go to solve this, now I'm looking at the side with the x and I need to get rid of timesing by negative 20. So I'm going to come in and divide by negative 20. When I do that, I get x is equal to, well guys, 20 divided by negative 20 is negative 1. Okay, halfway there. Once I've got one of the letters, one of the variables, that's when I plug into one of the equations, and I'm going to go into the top equation. So instead of writing, well, let me actually write 9x plus 2y equals negative 17, that's the top equation. Guys, if x is negative 1, can't I bring this negative 1 and put it right here where the x is? So now I have 9 times negative 1 plus 2y is equal to negative 17. Well, 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. Bring everything else down. Now I need to solve it, guys. If I want to get the y alone, I've got to get rid of this negative 9 tag along. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And that gets me 2y equals, now this is going to show you that Miss Shop's brain isn't working because I'm going to use this calculator, negative 17 plus 9. That gets me negative 8. Okay. Now, if I keep going, I have to solve it for y. Guys, to get rid of timesing by 2, I'm going to come in and divide by 2. So that gets me y is equal to negative 4. Okay, so if I look at what I've got, don't I have an x value and a y value? That means I can write my ordered pair. Guys, the answer is going to be negative 1, comma, negative 4. And it's in parentheses. That looks a little bit funny because I tried to squeeze it in. Negative 1, negative 4. It always goes x, comma, y.